First, the Subaru WRX won their hearts. Then, it won their minds.
Power, speed, and four-wheel drive. This car is a Subaru. A car like this drives Subaru's image. It gets people to think differently about Subaru and brings them into the showroom. And once they've bought, then they encounter Mr. Survey. Joe Barstas doesn't mind the nickname his colleagues gave him because he has helped his company understand the mind of the customer.
If you look at the demographic and psychographic profile, I mean, what makes up a Subaru owner, what he thinks about and what his interests are, you'll find that a Subaru owner is highly intelligent, highly independent, wants to tell you about it, feels an affinity for the product and for the company. Very interesting, almost quirky in a sense, where they just feel this. People will send me photographs of the car. You know, they give it a name.
Ready?
Yeah, let me just grab my keys.
I'll drive.
No, I'll drive.
Put them right here.
That name could easily be loyalty.
The new all-wheel drive Forester.
Hey, why don't we let Belle decide?
Like the dog in this commercial, Subaru wants its customers to be loyal. But then, what company doesn't want loyalty? Cars are different, though. It's easy to become loyal to a brand of beer or a coffee shop because you use it all the time. But after you've purchased your car, you're not going to buy another one for a few years. So during that period of time, Subaru wants to keep the good feeling going.
My job is to integrate that car into their life so that at some point when he turns to Mary at breakfast and says, you know, we got to think of getting a new car. Let's go look at the Subaru guys. I think we owe them a look. They've been pretty nice to us. They've kept us informed. They've reminded us to do things. The car's held up pretty well. The dealership's been pretty good. I think we owe them a look. If I can get to that point, I've done my job.
That's where the surveys come in. How was your service experience? How does Subaru compare to other service providers you visited? What about the buying experience? How satisfied were you? What were the salespeople like? And you know something? Customers really take an interest in these things.
If we sell 180,000 cars, we're getting 50% of those returns back. So you're talking about 75 to 80,000 people. This is not like stop a couple of people in the mall and ask them what they felt.
Hey, Dominic. Hey. So what happened this weekend?
Well, not to brag, but I dined at Chez Girard.
Oh.
What about you, Jeff?
180,000 cars is small compared to GM, but remember, Subaru owners, as this ad shows, are different than the mainstream crowd.
Jeff? What'd you do this weekend?
Help my daughter with her science project.
Wow.
Okay.
Life in fascinating.
When you get it, you get it.
They take their cars and surveys seriously. When customers aren't happy about something, Subaru executives make changes. The survey is very important. It's one thing, however, to keep your customers satisfied, but it's quite another, especially in the automobile industry, to keep them loyal. 90% of customers who buy a car are satisfied with their purchase and service, but only 40% would buy the same brand again. That's not good. One reason for that is because the auto industry has always taken a short-term approach to business. Thinking about how a customer would feel 5 years or even a year from now was not a concern.
My job is to get a culture to change. My job is to get to realize that we've got to get away from firefighting to fire prevention. What we've done for a long time in our industry has been to have departments that dealt with the phone. If the phone rang, there was a problem, or a letter arrived with a problem, we would take care of it. Now the shift has occurred, and it's been driven by the consumer. The consumer has said, no, that's not the way I want to do business anymore. That's the price of entry. That if I have a problem, someone will take care of it. I want to know now what's behind the curtain. What else is part of this deal? And that's why today companies are really stressing the concept of brand.
So if you walk into a Subaru dealership or go to the service department, you have certain expectations of the Subaru brand. And it's through years of customer surveys that the brand has been developed. Now Subaru wants its dealers, who are independent owners, to adhere to stringent criteria.
We call it Subaru Stellar Performers. Once a dealer has agreed to that, he develops these processes. He's got them all recorded, all documented, And then he gets the status of being a stellar performer. Every year he's recertified. He has to demonstrate that he is still doing things right. He has to maintain certain scores, because what the scores now mean is that if they're high, it means that what he said he's going to do, his customers think is happening.
But if the scores are low, then Subaru's district managers meet with the dealer and the needed changes are made.
We gave it the power of 227 horses. We gave it the control of all-wheel drive. With the spirit of a 3-time World Rally champion, that it had to earn.
Now, you may have noticed that a lot of the references to dealers were prefaced with the word he. The auto industry has been a notorious male bastion for years, but now women are beginning to play a much greater role.
The market demanded a sensitivity to women, because women said, no, I'm not going to put up with this nonsense. It would kill a deal in a heartbeat if a salesperson said to a woman, why don't you bring your boyfriend in or your husband? So the surveys being done by us, surveys being done by independent third-party survey companies were saying, you as an industry better get your act together around the female, because you're just killing your business. Anybody that has taken an opposite point of view, a sensitivity, a respect, they were starting to thrive. So it didn't take a rocket scientist to say, no matter how I feel about it, I've got to change. And so what we have found now is that the market has changed. Dealerships now recognize that I've got to have women in there. It's very important. And certainly even the men I have now have to be sensitivity trained, And it's worked its way all the way up. You will find virtually every automobile manufacturer now, corporate headquarters, is a lot of women management.
Joe likes to philosophize about the many changes he has seen since starting with Subaru 18 years ago. And it comes to him naturally. His BA is in philosophy and his MA is in theology. So how does one go from reading Plato and Socrates to being Mr. Survey?
My philosophy and my theology background allows me to look at a human experience with a product, with people. Because remember, if there's a dysfunction here, the dysfunction can occur if somebody calls in here and says, I got a problem. The problem could be a dysfunction with his car, with his dealer, with his own ignorance about how the bloody thing works. All of that, it's a human experience. If you peel away that it's a car and just look at the elements, the components, you could apply that to almost any human experience.
Over there.
And that philosophy also fits with Subaru's image. This ad really stresses the human experience.
They're so beautiful.
Imagine a sport utility designed to find harmony with nature.
What are you looking at?
When you get it, you get it. The beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive.
The human experience is just one aspect of this job that Joe loves. He enjoys dealing with people, finding out what makes them tick. But there's something else that really gets him going.
The fun part is, for me, is I think back to, where I came from. I'm just really, I guess maybe a small town thinker, or not thinker, but a small town approach to life. But I'm in a big world. I mean, I watch stuff like Wall Street, and I watch these movies, where these guys that buy, sell. I'm kind of there. It's kind of big decisions being made. I'm spending millions of dollars. Millions of dollars, and I'll go home and look at my wireless phone bill, for $50 and try to figure out where that went. But I'm spending a ton of money, and people let me do that. They let me do it, and that's a lot of fun.
Joe Barstas, part of our Real People, Real Choices profile. His goal is to maintain customer loyalty, and every year he achieves success.